Because the last time he was on the stand, some very, very upsetting, sickening testimony coming from there. Very, very upsetting indeed.
Good morning, Uveka. Well, cross-examination has already concluded. Johan Dempers had told the court just before recess in July that the cause of death of Courtney Pieters was either asphyxia due to strangulation and or poisoning, and that she was so severely decomposed that it was unclear exactly what the cause of death was of Courtney Pieters. So today what we're expecting is a trial within a trial. Apparently Dempers had gone back to do further testing during recess in July, and the state now wants to present this as evidence. So we're expected to hear from the state and defence whether or not this new evidence should be admitted in court.
All right, just bring us up to speed then, Leanne, as to any idea what we're expecting to hear from him. Is there any clue as to whether this is going to work in favour of or against Mortimer Saunders, whatever it is that Dr. Dempers has found in the middle of this trial?
It's unclear what Professor Dempers had actually come up with, but one sticking point during this trial had been the bloodied jeans, the crotch area of Courtney's jeans that was bloodied. The defence had put it to one of the witnesses, including Dempers, that it could have been purge fluid after she had died, but the witnesses had told the court that while it could have been purge fluids, it's most likely due to sexual acts that had been performed on Courtney Pieters. Now, you'd remember that Mortimer Saunders had pleaded guilty to murdering Courtney Pieters. He said he didn't rape her, but that he had performed sexual acts on her corpse. So if he had performed sexual acts on her corpse, it wouldn't have resulted in the bloodied jeans or the bloodied crotch area of her jeans. So those are a couple of sticking points, and it's expected that Dempers' new testimony will relate to some of that.
All right, and I'm sure all this very, very difficult, I'm sure, for the family to hear. I mean, I wouldn't be able to sit in court and listen to details like that. How are they holding up, Leanne?
Well, Courtney's mother had been absent from a few sittings here, much to the ire of others in the public gallery, including Courtney's cousins and members of the Sauders River community who were active in that search for her over the 9 days in which she was missing. So for them, at least, it's been horrific sitting in court. They'd come out and light cigarettes almost immediately just to deal with the stress of what they had heard in court. Also, just before recess, there were photographs presented to court where you could see, and from the media benches, we could see the autopsy photos and of the autopsy that was performed on Courtney's body. You could see how badly decomposed she was. Her face was almost black from decomposition. So yeah, it has been very traumatic and horrific for the family and members of the Sauders River community who have been watching this trial very closely.
All right, thanks very much for that, Leanne Jansen. Also outside the Western Cape High Court for us.